9440. 4405. 944405.
All right, welcome back to Calhoun County's Most Wanted. We appreciate you joining us again this week for the show where you get to help make Calhoun County a better and safer place for all of us. I'm Chris Wright, along with Matthew Wade from the Calhoun County Sheriff's Office. Matthew, good to see you.
Hey, good to be on the show. It's always an honor and a privilege.
And of course, next week is going to be a special week. It's Law Enforcement Appreciation Week. So I want to jump out here and be the first one to say, I appreciate you.
Well, thank you very much. And I don't want to overlook, there's always a week for something, but this week is National Correctional Officers Week, and we have about 60-something employees at the Sheriff's Office that are correctional officers. And it kind of goes together with next week's activities of Law Enforcement Memorial. But it's a cool little story how this all kind of got started is back in 2006, I wanted to learn to play the bagpipes. And I met a guy here locally that's from Scotland, been playing since he's 9, he's now 70, so you do the math. He's got a lot of experience in bagpipes. And back in October of 2006, started learning and come to realize, he said, what do you do for Law Enforcement Memorial Week? And I said, well, we don't do anything. He goes, well, what about your honor guards? At that time, there was not a single law enforcement agency in Calhoun County who had an honor guard. So if something happened, we just threw some guys together in our agency or any other agency. So we decided that we would do a memorial for Law Enforcement Week. And so in May of 2007, we did the first one. And this is the 10th celebration that we're having. And first one was just a celebration on that Friday at lunch, and we did a ceremony and honored it. And working with other law enforcement agencies, now there's several, us, Anniston, Oxford, all have honor guards. The circuit clerk, Eli Henderson, is now putting on a lunch for law enforcement officers for the whole entire week. We will be unveiling a week from Friday on May the 13th at noon. We'll be unveiling the state's law enforcement, the state's official law enforcement memorial is in Anniston, Alabama, the official one. And we're unveiling that at noon on May the 13th. And then on 6 o'clock on May the 13th, we'll have our annual event for the memorial. From where it started to having nothing to where we are now, it's really an honor and a privilege to have been a part of it from the beginning to now. And it all started because of an instrument that's near and dear to me, and that's the bagpipes. But it's just a good time to reflect. It's a good time that officers can all come together on a common goal and go, hey, this is not about individuals, this is about what we do for a living. It takes a good toll on people. The average life expectancy for a law enforcement officer is like 57. If you put that up against the life expectancy of a normal person, there's a great difference. We are on mission, we're on battle, not like going to war in Iraq or Afghanistan, but it's small things each and every day. You see things daily, you see things weekly, and there's never a coming home off of mission or coming home from the battlefield. You're doing it for 25 years, and those things add up. And this week is all about reflecting for those people who it's cost them everything.
If you can agree with the statement that this world is as dangerous as it has ever been, then you should be able to agree with the statement, we need to appreciate our law enforcement officers.
Absolutely, and I want to appreciate the people that work for me as well. But it's an important week coming up. If you see a law enforcement officer, it does matter when you say, hey, I thank you. It does pump them up. It does make them feel better. So the encouragement helps, and we appreciate it.
Well, let's appreciate our viewers right now. Let's talk about the arrests that were made with their help this past week. 8
arrests this week. You've never let us down. Brings our total to 3,686 people put in jail because somebody was willing to be our partner in law enforcement. Thank you.
All right, so we've got more bad guys that hopefully you can help us find this week, and we'll take a first look at that lineup coming up in just a few minutes here on Calhoun County's Most Wanted.
What are you doing?
I'm trying to wash my camo so I'm ready for hunting season.
Get that stuff out of my washer. You should take it to a laundromat.
There isn't any good laundries around here.
Sure there is. Washington Anniston Coin Laundry on Quintard across from Walgreens and beside the Social Security office.
They have a washer that can handle a real man's jacket?
They have the biggest washers and dryers around, and you can get all your stuff finished within an hour.
Awesome. I'm headed to Washington Anniston Coin Laundry at 829 Quintard, and then I can take the rest of the day to get my other gear ready.
Or maybe you can finish the yard work.
Yeah, right after I sight my bow.
Your word is rigmarole.
Can you define it?
A long, complicated, and annoying process.
Can you use it in a sentence?
The last time I tried to buy a car, I just got a big load of rigmarole.
Well, you should have gone to Jacksonville Auto Sales.
Jacksonville Auto Sales across from Walmart in Jacksonville, or find us on the web at jascars.com. Remember, Jacksonville Auto Sales, home of the no rigmarole deal.
AOD Federal Credit Union. You already know their friendly staff and great loan products. So here's reason number 8 to choose AOD FCU, a new all-platinum Visa credit card. Call 1-800-637-0299 or visit AODFCU.com to start earning 1% cash back on purchases. Your good credit earns you a better rate. A new Platinum Visa card. Another reason you belong at AOD Federal Credit Union.
Hi, I'm Katina Houston Stroud with Family Links, and this is the Family Tip of the Week. Parents, have you or someone you know found yourself saying the following things? Why does my child act this way? Why won't my child listen to me? What do I do after my child acts out? And how do I stop it before it starts? If so, I have great news for you. Family Links will be providing a low-cost parenting class just for you, the Empowering Parents Total Transformation Program. This 7-week program is a step-by-step program to help you understand and manage disrespectful, obnoxious, and abusive behavior in your child or grandchild. It's a program designed for change in your child's behavior, change for the better in you in your life as a parent. You will learn how to break through and understand you and your child's behaviors, transformation tools, understand faulty thinking, and more. There are 7 informative lessons that build on the one before it. And this is not just for parents who are having problems, but also parents who want to be proactive and head these behaviors off before they begin. So don't wait. Call Family Links now. The class will be held at our new location, 105 West 15th Street in the Unified Resource Center. Classes will begin next Saturday, May the 14th, and run every Saturday for 7 weeks from 10 to 12 noon. Remember, the goal is to help you feel empowered as a parent and to feel confident that you have the skills that it takes to shape your child's behaviors. For more information, contact Family Links at 256-820-5911.
And welcome to this week's edition of Calhoun County's Most Wanted. First up on our lineup this week, Eric Watkins. Mr. Watkins, last known to be living in Anniston. He's wanted for probation violation on robbery 3rd. And take a look at Deldracus Collins. Mr. Collins, last known to be living in Anniston. He's wanted for probation revocation on possession of marijuana 2nd. And we'd like you to meet Stacy Hardy. Miss Hardy, last known to be living in Piedmont. She's wanted for probation revocation on use and possession of drug paraphernalia. And this is Joshua Watson. Mr. Watson, last known to be living in East Aboga. He's wanted on probation revocation for theft of property 3rd. And here's Tellis Lowry. Mr. Lowry, last known to be living in Anniston. He's wanted for probation revocation on receiving stolen property 3rd. And meet Sheila Brown. Miss Brown, last known to be living in Anniston. She's wanted for probation revocation on criminal mischief 3rd. And last up in the first half of our lineup, Annie Cunningham. Miss Cunningham, last known to be living in Oxford. She's wanted on probation revocation for giving false name to law enforcement. And that's it for the first half of the lineup. Stay tuned for the second half later in the show.
All right, and we will have more bad guys to check out here in just a little bit on Calhoun County's Most Wanted. But right now, Sayram Selassie joining us from the Agency for Substance Abuse Prevention, of course also on the Anniston City Council. Plenty of work to do at both of those jobs.
Oh, yeah.
And just last week you were very, very busy, I know.
Yeah, so I'm the executive director of the Agency for Substance Abuse Prevention. But before I get into that, I want to thank both of you guys, thank the Calhoun County Sheriff's Department for all of the work that you guys do in apprehending these suspects and making sure our communities are safer. So I really appreciate the work that you guys do on this show. But yeah, last week, our agency, ASAP, we did a national prescription drug take-back, as well as the Sheriff's Department and various other organizations throughout the nation. And we were able to collect 38 pounds of drugs, getting those unused and expired prescription medications off the streets. And our philosophy at ASAP is the age-old adage goes that an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And our agency is all about making sure that young people do not have access to not only prescription drugs, but alcohol, marijuana, whatever those illegal substances may be, as well as legal substances. We don't want youth having access to those.
Absolutely. You know, a lot of prescription drugs aren't illegal when they're prescribed, and a lot of times my mother and mothers in general, they'll say, well, you know, I can put this in the medicine cabinet. And we see many children get involved with prescription drugs because they're available.
Right.
They don't necessarily know how to get other drugs, but they can go look in their medicine cabinet, or their friends can go look in their medicine cabinet and they can find these drugs. And that's one of the most prevalent things we see in the teenagers today is abuse of prescription medications. And not only that, what do you do with them? If you flush them down the commode, now you're contaminating our drinking water. So this prescription drug take-back is an important thing to do.
We always tell parents, grandparents, look, you could be a drug dealer and not even know it. You know, if you have those things that are out of date, please get them to us as an agency during events like that. We had to have law enforcement on site to collect those drugs. But also, you know, the Calhoun County Sheriff's Department, the Anderson Police Department, you guys have those drop boxes where people can come in, bring those prescription drugs. And again, please, please, we want to emphasize to everyone, do not flush those drugs because they do damage to the water system.
And here it's so simple. You can walk into the lobbies of the Anderson Police Department or the Sheriff's Office. It's like a mailbox. It's a red container there. You walk in, nobody's going to question you, nobody's going to say anything. You pull the drawer open, you put it in, and you close it.
Right.
That's as simple as it gets. There's
Now,
no
if you reach in without a bottle, they'll question you.
Well, I think it's got some devices there to keep you from doing that. But it's one of those things that they're kept under lock. They're inside there. Nobody's going to question you. Nobody's going to say. Nobody's going to look in your bag. If you come in with a brown paper bag and you open it up, put it in there, but nobody cares.
And those are safe. You know, that's a pretty well guarded vault there. But in our homes, they're not necessarily safe. And if you've got these prescription drugs in your home, maybe you've had a loved one that passed away and they had some pretty powerful morphine or something in the house. Bad guys, they kind of find out these things some ways. And that makes you a target.
Right.
It makes you a target, and here's the thing, kids are curious. For whatever reason, you know, everybody wants to think as kids that do drugs as bad kids. That's not necessarily the case. Kids do things that you go, that wasn't smart. You know, and it's our parents' job to try to teach them how to make good choices and also to alleviate options that they have to make bad ones. And
speaking of the home, one thing that we did on last Thursday was a town hall meeting on underage drinking. And you know, we really want to emphasize to parents out there, you know, a lot of youth are getting access to alcohol as well right there in the home, not on the street with friends or not at certain parties, but right there at home. So, you know, we want adults to be responsible. And one of the things we strongly want people to watch out for is those parents that say, you know, as long as they drink in my house, it's okay. No, it's not okay. The young person's brain is still developing. It's not fully developed, and you are doing damage to that youth if you're allowing them to even drink in the confinements of your own home.
You can have debates about whether adults should be drinking or not, and you know, every individual gets, with the way we've got the law set up, we all get to make that decision as adults.
Right.
But for kids, it's not just a legal distinction. It is a physical distinction that really does matter.
Right, right. And again, we hear these type of stories all the time, you know, as long as they're doing it here, I can watch them, and, you know, it's okay for Johnny and Tina to do this, that, and the other. But no, that's not the case. You know, sometimes these young people are 15, 16 years old, they get in the cars, they want to go to another party or something. And, you know, we're hearing about cases where young people are really getting in some dangerous situations just by getting access right there in their own homes.
So what do we say to mom and dad that have some alcohol legally and responsibly in their home? how do they keep that in their home and be responsible to make sure that their kids don't get into it?
Yeah, there are different organizations also like ours that will provide certain lock boxes for that type of stuff. But in all honesty, just be smart. You know where you keep certain alcoholic products in your home. Keep a close eye on those things, because youth, just like anything else in the home, if you don't keep a close eye on it, they'll get into it and want to sample and see, hey, what's so great about this thing that we hear about called alcohol? So just be smart.
And things that we overlook, the kids may look at it with fresh eyes and see it. We have something, just thinking right now, maybe we're being irresponsible. We probably need to address this. In our pantry, we've got some alcohol that's used for cooking.
Yeah.
And we just ignore it. But we got a 15-year-old in the house and a 9-year-old in the house.
Nothing replaces being a good parent. Nothing replaces being in your kid's business. You hear parents say, well, that's their phone. They're a teenager, they're a juvenile in your home. There ain't nothing that ain't part of your business. And it's more important to be a parent than a friend.
All right, we need to take a quick break, but we've got more to talk about, and we will when we come back on Calhoun County's Most Wanted.
The Ford brand has always brought you impressive style and legendary quality, and Sonny King Ford brings you the lowest price and the largest inventory, new or pre-owned. The new 2015 F-150 gets the best gas mileage of any truck without giving up its powerful towing capacity. The iconic new 2015 Mustang, with its classic pony car looks and hunkered down stance, preserves a legacy that defines American motoring. For over 93 years, Sonny King Ford, for the best cars and best price.
Angie Brown was a cherished employee at the Calhoun County Sheriff's Office. On April 27th, cancer claimed her life. Angie always put others first and had a strong faith. This benefit has been organized by the Friends of Angie in her honor. All funds raised will be given to the Brown family. Please share her love for others by helping her family during this time. And welcome to the second half of our lineup. First up this half, Cameron Cleveland. Mr. Cleveland, last known to be living in Anniston, he's wanted for failure to appear on harassment. And here's Jeffrey Robinson. Mr. Robinson, last known to be living in Ohatchee, he's wanted for probation revocation on use and possession of drug paraphernalia. And meet Wendy Smith. Miss Smith, last known to be living in Oxford, she's wanted on bond revocations for possession of controlled substance, possession of marijuana first, illegal possession of prescription drugs. And here is Ashley Wilson. Miss Wilson, last known to be living in Anniston, she's wanted for probation revocation on use and possession of drug paraphernalia. And meet Ryan Nelson. Mr. Nelson, last known to be living in Oxford, he's wanted for failure to appear on domestic violence third, harassment. And last up in our lineup this week, Jalen Montero. Mr. Montero, last known to be living in Anniston, wanted for probation violation on robbery third. And that's it for our lineup. We hope you know the whereabouts of these folks, and if you do, give us a call at Crime Stoppers, 256-238-1414.
All right, we'll have the Crazy Criminal of the Week and the Crime Stoppers segment coming up in just a few moments. But right now, Seyram Selassie is joining us, Agency for Substance Abuse Prevention. You're the Executive Director and also on the Anniston City Council. We appreciate your work in both of those regards.
Thank you.
And we know that you've got a clearinghouse that is a great resource in our community.
Yes, we have people call from all over northern Alabama. We are known as kind of like the Northern Clearinghouse. There's one in the southern region of Alabama as well. The majority of our funding comes from the Alabama Department of Mental Health, ADMH. So what we have is this clearinghouse with all kind of material that, parents, grandparents, youth group, church groups, that, they can call us and come into our clearinghouse and get any material that they need. And we try to keep our clearinghouse as up to date as possible. You guys know that, substances are changing every day, but we have everything from Molly's to the purple drink to Kratom. We have all these different type of pamphlets that really give young people information in a interactive and there's a better way to put it, I guess, cool looking way to where, it really gives them the information that they need. So if they want to reach out to us, they can call the number that is on the screen, and we want to provide that information and make sure that as many young people don't fall into lives of substance abuse.
And you mentioned Kratom, and Matthew, that's something that's being discussed in Montgomery as we speak, isn't it?
It's being discussed this week. Hopefully there will be a law that makes Kratom illegal. Kratom, a lot of people, it's new. You can go to a convenience store and buy it. There's no regulation on it. It's a plant from Asia. Right now, when you buy Kratom, you don't know who made it. There's nobody checking to make sure it is in fact Kratom. There's been cases across America where people are selling Kratom where it's actually synthetic spice, which is people say, well, that's synthetic marijuana. No, that is probably one of the worst substances you can put in your body. There's numerous cases of people killing themselves off the first try or dying from the first try of using synthetics because you don't know what kind of chemical it is or what it's on. And right now, Kratom is an unregulated substance that a kid can go into a convenience store and try to buy cigarettes and can't, but they can buy Kratom. And we don't know what's in it. We don't know who made it. Nobody's checking to see what that substance is, and kids have full access to it. And I employ our legislators.
While you're pumping the gas.
While you're pumping the
kids
gas.
Say, I'm going to go in for just a second.
I'm going to give me a drink, and they're buying a pack of Kratom. And there's people out there that say Kratom is a natural substance. It's not harmful. But we don't know what we're getting. And there's no regulation to keep kids from getting it. There's no regulation to make sure that somebody who does want Kratom is in fact getting Kratom itself. Right now, it's like the Wild West. It's whatever you want, however you want to get it. And I hope our legislature does something so people are protected in the sense that we don't know what that is.
We work with a lot of treatment agencies as well. We're on the prevention side, but we partner with treatment agencies for different programs. And one thing that we've learned about Kratom is that it has opioid type effects.
It does.
So what we're hearing from treatment agencies, people are beating heroin, getting off of heroin, and going straight to Kratom products. One of the most popular in this area is called Vivazin or Vivazin, and it has that Kratom. Kratom is the active ingredient in that product, and again, it's not regulated. A 15-year-old, 14-year-old kid can go right in the store, purchase it, and I really hope something gets done about it.
And you mentioned heroin. That's something that I know last year I was hearing a lot about how heroin was just growing leaps and bounds in our part of the country. Is that still the case? Has that slowed down any? Have we managed to reverse that trend at all?
Yeah, it's still, I would say, at about the same level for what we're seeing in our agency and in the communities. But one thing that, again, once you really attack and hit on those prescription drugs, people are going to look for substitutes, and oftentimes cheaper substitutes, and that's what heroin has become. But again, as far as our agency is concerned, we're working to inform as many people as possible. The best way with all of these substances is not to get hooked in the beginning, and that's where we come in. So, again, Kratom, heroin, all of these different products, the hope is that people won't even go down that path.
Good decisions. That's what it all boils down to.
No, every person I've ever met that has a substance abuse problem never intended to try a drug to be where they're at today, but all of them are miserable. All of them wish they could stop, and they can't. And it never started with heroin. It always started with something else, and it was because they chose to do it once. If they never do it once, you don't ever have to worry about it being something bigger.
And I want to add to that just one thing. There are young people in our community that are speaking out against these drugs. I want to definitely recognize Emily Robertson from Oxford High School, Kiera Funderburg from Sachs High School, as well as Chase Chandler from White Plains High School. They were winners of our scholarship essay competition, and they literally spoke out in their essays and pretty much, they use a phrase, bled through the ink. Their stories about being leaders in their community and saying as a young person, we not only aren't going to live lives of substance abuse, but we're going to encourage others not to go down that path as well. So I really applaud all the young people in our community right here in Calhoun County that are standing up and saying, we are leaders. We want you to be like us. We're going to college, and we're not going to let drugs ruin our lives.
And we're out of time now, basically, from the show, but I know, speaking of the young people, we've got some things going on this summer that you'd love for them to get involved with, so they should just give you a call on the number on the screen.
Please give us a call. We're starting our summer programming.
Summer programs with ASAP,
yes.
Agency for Substance Abuse Prevention. Very good idea. So give them a call and find out more about those. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we will have the Crime Stoppers segment of the show and our Crazy Criminal of the Week.
The Ford brand has always brought you impressive style and legendary quality, and Sonny King Ford brings you the lowest price and the largest inventory, new or pre-owned. The new 2015 F-150 gets the best gas mileage of any truck without giving up its powerful towing capacity. The iconic new 2015 Mustang, with its classic pony car looks and hunkered down stance, preserves a legacy that defines American motoring. For over 93 years, Sonny King Ford, for the best cars and best price.
Amazing grace.
How sweet the sound that saved
a crackhead, drug addict, alcoholic, meth freak, a wretch like me.
I once was
Homeless,
broken, sad,
just lost. But now I am sober,
happy.
I'm found. Was blind, but now I see.
Every day, shattered lives are restored thanks to the goods you donate to the Salvation Army.
Your word is rigmarole.
Can you define it?
A long, complicated, and annoying process.
Can you use it in a sentence?
The last time I tried to buy a car, I just got a big load of rigmarole.
Well, you should have gone to Jacksonville Auto Sales.
Jacksonville Auto Sales across from Walmart in Jacksonville, or find us on the web at jascars.com. Remember, Jacksonville Auto Sales, home of the no rigmarole deal.
And welcome to the Crime Stoppers portion of our show, where we ask you to put your deer stalkers on and help our investigators with these cases. First up on your caseload this week, on April 22nd, this residence was burglarized on Post Oak Road in Jacksonville. They got away with some jewelry. And sometime between April 22nd and April 23rd, this outbuilding was burglarized on Highway 9 in Anniston. They got away with some power tools. And sometime between April 16th and April 24th, this residence on Wellington Drive in Wellington was burglarized. They got away for some power tools. And on April 25th, this residence on Cocoa Avenue in Alexandria was burglarized. They got away with televisions, jewelry, and some firearms. And on April 25th, this residence on Conyacay Way in Alexandria was burglarized. They got away with jewelry and electronics. And also on April 25th, this residence on Moana Drive in Alexandria was burglarized. Got away with some jewelry. And on May 2nd, this vehicle was broken into on New Liberty Road. They got away with some prescription medication. And last up on your caseload this week, on April 21st, fishing tackle was stolen from this residence on Hollingsworth Drive in Jacksonville. So there's your caseload for the week. If you have any information on all of these cases, and we hope you do, please give us a call at Crime Stoppers at 256-238-1414. Remember, we want your information and not your name.
Stupid! You're so stupid!
All right, it is time for our crazy criminal of the week. And Matthew, I'm not one that puts a lot of stock in any psychics. I don't think you are either, are you?
No, I don't think so.
All right, but especially if a psychic told you, hey, your money is unclean and that's what causes you all of your problems in your life, give it to me and let me clean it. What would you do?
Well, first and foremost, I'd have to have some money to give them. So I knew they would line off the bat because I don't have any money. But if I had some money, I'd clean it myself if I needed to.
We've got a couple of individuals who claim to be psychics, and they had some clients that were having some problems in their lives, and they said, you know what? It's this money that you told us about, almost $250,000, I believe.
Wow.
That this is the root of your problems. That money is unclean. It needs to be cleaned. And hey, we know how to clean that for you. Not launder it, but clean it of the evil spirits.
It's a whole different kind of laundering right there, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, they took them to the cleaners. The money was given to the psychics. The money, I don't know if it was ever cleaned of unholy spirits or not, but it was not
returned.
Voluntarily returned. Now, some of it has been returned now that the police have gotten involved.
Well, you know, anytime you have a scam, don't give people money. If somebody calls asking for money, don't do it.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
But if you can't believe in your psychic, who can you believe in, Matthew?
That's a good question.
All right. Okay, well, that's all the time that we have for this week. We'll be looking for you again next week, but hopefully not in the lineup on Calhoun County's Most Wanted.